Hello, my friends. On this channel, we study languages. I read the text. You hear my voice. You see the text on the screen. This way we practice reading and listening. It is good to pause the video, then repeat after me. This will help your speaking skills. The text is A2 level. If you need a translation, turn on subtitles in your language. Now let's start our story. Do you like beer? Maybe yes, maybe no. But today we will talk about this drink. This is not an advertisement. This is a story. It is a very long story. It started a long time ago. We will learn where and when people first tried beer. We will see how beer changed people's lives. And we will ask ourselves, is beer good or bad? Let's begin. Do you know who invented beer? The answer is simple. Nobody. People did not invent beer on purpose. It happened by itself. One day, a hunter cooked porridge. It was normal porridge from grains and water. He ate some. He left the rest in the pot. He went away and forgot about the porridge. Several days passed. It was hot. The porridge started to ferment. Bubbles appeared. Small living things worked there. They were yeast. The hunter came back. He tried this strange liquid. He liked it. This is how people discovered beer. You understand? They did not invent it. They discovered it. Archaeologists found traces of this ancient beer. Where? In Israel. This beer was more than 11,000 years old. It is older than the Egyptian pyramids. Can you imagine that? Even the oldest wine is not so old. Beer was the first alcoholic drink. In the future, scientists will find even older traces. But now we know the main thing. Beer is very old. Why did ancient people need beer? Just for fun? Not only. The problem was water. Water in rivers was dirty. Dangerous bacteria lived in it. If you drank such water, you got sick. But people boiled beer. During boiling, the bacteria died. So drinking beer was safe. It saved people's lives. People did not know about bacteria, but they saw. People who drank beer did not get sick, so they respected beer. Now let's move to ancient Sumer. It was a big country between two rivers. The Sumerians were smart. They invented writing and wheels, and they loved beer. They had a goddess of beer. Can you imagine? A special goddess. Her name was Ninkasi. The Sumerians sang songs to her. One song started like this: Ninkasi, you are the one who brews beer. Brewing beer was holy work. Only women could brew beer. Men were not allowed. You will not believe it, but people received beer as salary. A normal worker got 1 liter of beer per day. A high official got 5 liters. This was normal payment. Nobody complained. What about Egypt? Egyptians also loved beer, but they had another problem. Some people drank too much. They fell down and could not work. Egyptian doctors tried to treat these people. They made cocktails from beer and herbs. This was medicine. But sometimes the medicine did not help. Egyptians argued, Is beer medicine or poison? What do you think? Today, we know the answer. Everything depends on the amount. On one ancient wall, they found a drawing. There was a woman. She sat on the ground. An empty jug stood nearby. The woman felt bad. Under the drawing, there was a text. It said, "She wants more beer. Her throat is dry like straw." It was a joke. Already 4,000 years ago, people laughed at drunkards. Time passes, but people do not change. Now let's talk about the Greeks. Greeks drank wine. They did not like beer. Why? Because their neighbors in the north drank beer. Greeks thought they were better. They said, "Beer is a drink for barbarians." Barbarians were uncultured people. The great philosopher Aristotle also did not like beer. He wrote that after beer, people fall on their backs and fall asleep. Maybe he simply did not drink good beer. Or he drank too much. We do not know. The Romans first tried beer. Even the word for beer in Spanish, cerveza, came from Latin. The Romans named beer after the goddess of harvest. Her name was Ceres. But later, the Romans fell in love with wine. They forgot about beer. Only one emperor wrote poems against beer. He said, "You smell not like a drink of gods, but like a goat." The Romans did not know that beer would return in the future. It would become the main drink in Europe. But that happened later. After the fall of Rome, dark times came. But beer did not disappear. On the contrary, people drank it even more, especially in Ireland. Monks lived there. Do you think monks drank only water? No, that is not true. Monks brewed beer in their monasteries. They said beer was a gift from God. One saint named Bridget made a miracle. In her monastery, beer finished before Easter. It was a disaster. What to do? Bridget prayed. And then the water they used to wash the barrels turned into beer. From one barrel, they got 18. There was enough beer for everyone. A beautiful story, isn't it? Monks helped beer become popular. They sold beer to travelers. People went to holy places. They got tired and wanted to drink. Monks gave them beer. Travelers paid money. This way, beer started to travel across Europe. In the 9th century, a new law appeared. Every monk received a pint of beer every day. It was obligatory. Nobody complained. Monks loved their work. Later, people started to add hops to beer. Before that, they used bitter herbs. Sometimes they even used tree resin. Can you imagine beer with resin? It was not very tasty. Hops helped beer stay fresh longer. Now people could transport beer to other cities. It was a big step forward. In the future, hops would become the main ingredient. Today, we cannot imagine beer without it. In the 15th century, in Germany, in Bavaria, they accepted a new law. In beer, they could use only 3 things: water, barley, and hops. No herbs, no berries, no resin. This law worked for almost 500 years. They canceled it only in 1987. Can you imagine? 500 years. People took beer quality very seriously. But the history of beer also has a dark side. Long ago, people brewed beer at home. Women did it. Every housewife had a big pot. A cat lived in the house to catch mice. The woman wore a tall hat so her hair did not fall into the beer. Neighbors looked at this and whispered, "What does she put in her pot?" they thought. Maybe she is not brewing beer. Maybe it is witchcraft. Unfortunately, this led to tragedy. In the 15th century in Europe, they burned the last beer witch. In reality, she was a simple woman. She just brewed beer. But big breweries wanted to remove competitors. They said she was a witch. She was arrested. Her pot was broken. Her cat was killed. And she herself was burned at the stake. After that, people were afraid to brew beer at home. They went to beer halls and paid money. This is a sad story, but it is true. In the 18th century, the Industrial Revolution began. Big factories appeared. They made beer in thousands of liters. But sometimes disasters happened. In 1814 in London, there was an unusual flood. It was not water. It was a beer flood. A huge barrel broke. It was as tall as a 2-story house. The pressure of beer broke other barrels. 1 million liters of beer poured onto the streets. The wave destroyed a house. 8 people drowned. They drowned in beer. Can you imagine that? Newspapers wrote about it all week. People did not cry. They laughed. Because drowning in beer is very strange. Now let's ask ourselves, is beer good or bad? In the past, it saved people. It gave work. It helped people not to get sick. But today we know that a lot of beer is harmful. If you drink too much, you can get sick. You can lose friends. Doctors say children must not drink beer. It ruins health. It is not a toy. In the future, people may invent safe beer. Such beer already exists, non-alcoholic. You can drink it even when driving. But will it become popular? We do not know. Maybe in 100 years, people will remember us and be surprised. "Did you drink real beer with alcohol?" they will say. "How strange." But today, beer is part of our life. Only 2 drinks in the world people drink more often than beer. They are water and tea. Beer is in 3rd place. That is a lot. What did we learn today? We learned that beer is very old. It is more than 11,000 years old. We learned that in Sumer there was a goddess of beer. We learned that in Egypt people considered beer medicine. We learned that Greeks did not like beer and Romans forgot about it. We learned that monks helped beer become popular. We learned that in Bavaria there was a strict law about beer. We learned that women were afraid to brew beer at home because they could be burned. We learned that in London there was a beer flood. Tell me honestly, did you know this before? Probably not. Most people do not know these stories. They think beer is just a drink. But now you know more. Beer is part of human history. It has its heroes and its tragedies. It has its gods and its witches. It has its laws and its disasters. But I want to tell you one simple thing. You can drink no beer at all. This is normal. Many people do not drink, and it is good for health. You can drink a little with friends in a good mood. This is also normal. The main thing is to remember moderation. You must not drink a lot. Children must not drink. You must not drink when you feel sad. These are simple rules. They always work. And the last thing. If you are studying a language, do not be afraid of mistakes. Did you understand this text? If yes, you are great. There are many new words here. There are many new ideas here. But you did it. Give yourself a plus. Now pause the video and repeat the most interesting facts aloud. This will help your pronunciation. Bye. See you in the next video.